Peace, peace, peace. Abundance. Peace, peace, peace. My shadow work people. Depressed anxiety, neuroticism, fear. That's the number one thing. Shadow work people, I would consider fear. Believers instead of knowers. Yeah, that's it. Shadow work people. Yizzo, Supreme, Yizzo, Supreme, Yizzo, Supreme, 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 Abundance, Supreme, my people, Supreme. I haven't been on YouTube in a minute. Yo, YouTube family, Yizzo. What's the dealio? Yizzo, Yizzo, Yizzo. Y'all know I gotta squint my eyes a little bit. Y'all know, just a little bit. Little bit. Little bit. Yizzo, my people, Supreme, Supreme. You know what I'm saying? Abundance and gratitude to all, woman, child, and man, cosmos and earth, eternal light, each one reach one. This is how we grow. I see you, my brothers and sisters. I see you, star seeds, divine, divine. I see y'all. I see y'all. Yizzo. Supreme, supreme, supreme. Abundance, my people, abundance. So I hope there's people that subscribe to Shadow Work. I hope they call in. You know what I mean. Your face is not there, so I hope you can call in and actually give your a clear assessment in layman terms regarding Shadow Work. So let me read this right here real fast. And just so you know that I'm reading, you see what the top line says? It says psychology. So just so that you know that. So I'm reading from this right here. It's well say psychological. Let me just say that. Psychological tendencies to focus on negative aspects of life, situations over positive ones, is called negativity bias. This can include paying more attention to negative stimuli. People with negative bias may dwell on negative events and give more importance to negative experiences than positive or natural ones. Expecting the worst. People with a negative bias may expect the worst in others. See? Now, that's a big one because you ever start talking to somebody or you in the beginning of a relationship and you have a conversation and a female be like, well, I hope you're not the last dude, or you as a male be like, damn, I hope you're not like the last shorty. I mean, all she was about is a dollar. See, that's on negative experiences. That's dwelling on negative. You expect the negative, a negative outcome. You know what I'm saying? Instead of focus on the now and moving forward with the future. Okay, here you go. Placing more weight on negative aspects. People with a negative bias may place more weight on negative aspects of an event and fear the consequences of negative outcomes more than they desire positive gain. You know what? Let me read that one more time for my people in the back. Placing more weight on negative aspects. People with a negative bias, you can look this up. It's not like it ain't there. People with a negative bias may place more weight on negative aspects of an event and fear the consequences of negative outcomes more than they desire positive gain. So you're actually looking and expecting something negative to happen more than positive gain, which is weakening your lymphatic system and your glymphatic system. Yes, this is how they weaken you so they can get viruses and diseases inside of you. So, okay, giving more weight to bad descriptors. Descriptors just mean you reading over something and you like, oh no, this is just negative. You right from the door. People with a negative bias may give more weight to a bad descriptor when forming a first impression. So, like for example, let's say somebody is an artist, And they be like, come over here, look at my painting. And you go over there and you look at their painting and you not even just look, you just glance at it and be like, oh, now I don't want to see that. That shit corny. You know what I'm saying? That's negative. Okay. Another term relating to negative thinking is rumination. rumination. Rumination, which is the repetitive thinking or dwelling on negative feelings and distress. Rumination can contribute to the development of depression and anxiety. That's what it can do. This is what it can lead. Literally, thinking about every negative aspect of your life or things that you went through trauma, past trauma that you have went through, and constantly dwelling on that literally adds depression and anxiety. It weakens your heart muscles. It weakens your heart muscles, makes your ventricles that allow blood to flow to your upper and lower parts of your organs. It makes them weak. Yes, this is your heart is the most positive and the most powerful organ in the entirety of your body. The brain is the most complex because it does so much, but your heart is the most powerful. So I hope that what's up, people? Abundance, abundance, abundance. Free Diddy. Yo, listen, hold on for a second. I am going to talk about that. And matter of fact, let me just talk about that to get it out the way. Puff Daddy is used to usher in bisexual men, and it's also to further the separation between black women and so-called black men. Just so that y'all know that. Puff Daddy. Now, I want y'all to understand something. This is how you know that the feds is a crock of shit and they don't really have nothing on him, because they got him with racketeering charges and they got him with RICO, they got him with something else, right? But when they was doing the live press conference, right, what did they show? They showed AR-15s and talked about fucking guns. Now, unless one of those guns was used to hold people hostage, that's a bunch of bullshit. Now, let me just let you know one thing. I'm not exonerating him at all for what he did to females. And what I mean by what he did to females, now mind you, let this be very known. What he did to Cassie, that shit was some fucked up shit. Because let me tell you something. When males are in those positions, right, they're not dealing with women that are not fully submissive to you. And what I mean by fully submissive to you, you can tell she was fully submissive because she was having sex with male workers while he was having sex with her, or they was having sex with her and he was having sex with the man. However it went, this is how the shit was going down. So this is how you know they're fully submissive. So the shit that he did to her, oh, that was completely. And for her to allow it to go on for so many years, that tells me she's an immature materialistic woman, because a female, I don't even consider her as a woman, I consider her as a female. And for somebody to sit there and be like, oh no, Kala, you're wrong, just think, get out of your emotions. That's all I'm saying. Just get out of your emotion for 1 second. I'm not exonerating this motherfucker at all. Just think about something. Okay, here we go right here. Before the people that are will get in their emotions about this, just think about this. Think about Hugh Hefner, Playboy Mansion. What the fuck was that? What was that? Now the underage girls and all that shit, yeah, he got to be dealt with for that. But what the fuck was Hugh Hefner? He had a whole mansion filled with women, had parties there, and you're not going to tell me that these motherfuckers wasn't fucking in these rooms with Playboy girls. So just let you know. So I'm not exonerating this motherfucker. For me personally, I don't give a fuck about Puff Daddy and his gay tendencies and his bisexual tendencies. That's on him. I'm just giving y'all the heads up that this right here is a distraction from the sun and the cosmos and the moon. This shit is acting very crazy and weird out there right now ahead of this square that we getting ready to be pulled into. Y'all just know that. This shit is a distraction for that there. That's all that is. And it's also to further the division between so-called black women and so-called black men. That's all this is. You understand what I'm saying to you? Just so that you know, I'm not exonerating that motherfucker at all. I just want y'all to understand something. If the feds had some real shit with him, and I mean real shit, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying they don't have. Let me tell you what got his ass really locked up. He recorded everything. He recorded everything, just so that you know. All his little freak fest and all. Why would you need to mention? No disrespect. And I'm not trying to. I don't knock anybody that has a problem with their Bartholin glands or what nobody's sexual preference. But that whatever he liked to do, that's his sexual preference. Nobody can judge him for his sexual preference. If that's what he into, what the fuck? You don't have to be into that. That's up to you. But why would you need to mention body baby oil and lube if you got a concrete case on a motherfucking monster? You don't need that. You wait a minute. I don't need to mention this. That can be in the indictment, the things that we have found, but I don't need to mention that because I got too much concrete shit on him to put him away for the rest of his life. I don't need to mention that. But again, like I stated to you, like this shit that's going down is way bigger than Puff Daddy and some Somali cocktails and all this other and baby oil and all the other bullshit and lubricant. You know what I mean? This shit is way bigger than that. So, but back to my original subject. I'm looking for the shadow work people to be able to call in and explain to me how focusing on past experiences with trauma is beneficial to your psychological, spiritual, and physical growth. Whenever you think about something negative, it automatically hardens your cells. It makes you weak as an individual. So why would that be something that I need to do on a day-to-day basis? See, here we go. Let me just tell you this. Most shadow work people are believers and not knowers. Just so that, and most shadow work people, to be honest with you, they're up and down in their feelings because you know why? They're not living and moving in a pure righteous manner. And I'm not being disrespectful. A pure righteous manner has nothing to do about if you want to smoke weed or you want to do shrooms, you drink alcohol. That has nothing to do with it. What it has to do is that a lot of them are using the worldly things to manipulate and continue to perpetuate the same shit that the Bible did, the same shit the Quran did. Look at the religions. Every religion focuses and its focus is on negativity. Let's look at the last religion, which is Christianity. You got a dead man on a cross. How is that positive? You got a dead man on a cross. You ain't got Jesus not on a cross and he got a halo over his head and he just standing there. You got him on a cross, nailed to the cross. Can you even imagine what it feel like nails going through your feet into wood? Nails going through the center of your hand into wood? You know why they nailed him by his feet and his hands? Because these are energy signatures right here. This is where you pull in energy from the sun because Jesus doesn't represent nothing but your pineal gland and its connection to the sun. That's why when he rose from the grave, you always seen a sun behind him, which was a halo. That's all it does. That's what just Jesus is. So why would I need to focus on something that's that negative? Look, God was the most uncontrolled, emotional fucking bastard I could ever know. This nigga created a race of people, got mad and flooded the earth. Then he created another race of people and then created another race of people to enslave the other people that he created for breaking a covenant that he never thoroughly explained. That's what I don't get. So how is me focusing on past traumas allow me to grow and develop as an individual? When science says neurology, chemistry, physics, and biology says this is all negative to your motherfucking body. Why would I want my body in a negative state? Don't they say be in a positive, be in a high vibratory state, vibrate high. So I can't vibrate high if I keep thinking about negative things that went on with me as a child. Here we go right here. Here's things that I hear all the time when people talk about that they have been through. Right? Some of the things, let me just speak about some of the things, right? Negative things. they'd only come to the shadow work when you get in a relationship and the relationship is fucked up. The relationship don't turn out the way you wanted the relationship. The way you envisioned the relationship, it didn't turn out the way you wanted to. And therefore, now you need to do shadow work. Now you need to do shadow work, whether it's to a man to a woman or a woman to a man. You see, now you need to do shadow work. Why all of a sudden now you didn't need to do shadow work. Nobody does shadow work when they in the high of whatever they're doing. You ever see somebody doing shadow work in a high of whatever they doing? You ever see somebody y'all hanging out and a girl or now you emotional ass niggas, but a girl be like, hold on, girl, I gotta go because I need to go do some shadow work real fast. You know what I mean? I do this every night. I go do some shadow work before I go to bed. Girl, I'll call you back. I got to do my shadow work. No, you don't hear that shit don't go down when y'all in y'all high. Not at all. But the moment something don't go the way that you want it to go, and it hurts your feelings, it destroys your ego, your pride. Now I need shadow work. Now I need shadow work. Why do you, first of all, let me say this to you. Let's just say that you grew up in a household, right? And you grew up most of us grew up in the defective households, meaning that our parents, our guardians did not really want to know the truth, and nor did they care about learning the truth. To be fully honest with you, they just cared about getting to the next day, and they didn't have to experience a whip or a chain around their fucking neck or on their back, a whip on their back or a chain around their neck. So now let's say you grow up in a dysfunctional household. Everybody, people cussing, screaming, whatever the case may be. And you say you was raised in a single parent household. Now, do I need to do shadow work to think how I felt as a child? That we was in a single household. My mom didn't spend the time that I felt like she needed to spend with me. My dad didn't be around me the way that my dad needed to be around me. No, I don't need to do shadow work for that. What's wrong with you? Only thing I can say is, guess what? I'm not going to put my child through this shit. I'm not going to put my child through the same shit. I remember when I was a kid and I wanted to speak to my mom and dad openly, but I couldn't speak to them because they were too close-minded and they did not want to hear anything that I said. And they probably would try to chastise me if I was to say some of the things to them that I've had on my mind and heart. They would probably get mad at me and want to chastise me. See, you don't need shadow work for that. You would say, guess what? I'm not going to allow my child, I'm not going to raise my future child like that. I want my child to express themselves. I want my child to feel as though that they can come to me and speak to me about anything. And I'm not going to get mad and upset with them. I'm going to guide them through it. You don't need shadow work for that shit. See, this is people be if it's a block, there's no lights on this block and I'm walking down this block and I got robbed in this block. It's dark time. No lights on this block and I walk down there and I get robbed. 5 years later, I'm in a whole nother city, a whole nother state, and a whole nother city, whole new block. And I see that there is no lights on that block. Instantaneously, things that went on with you as a child. First of all, let's just start with this. Any type of trauma that the brain or the body feels stays with it. Just so that y'all know that. Any type of trauma that the brain and body experience, it stays with it. So guess what? You could have forgot about being robbed on a dark block 5 to 7 years ago. But the moment that you came in that same situation, it was nighttime, you're going to make it home, and there is a dark block. Instantaneously, it will pop in your head. I went down a block like this before, and I was over in fucking New York, and I got robbed. No disrespect to my brothers in New York. I just made a mistake. I was in New York and I got robbed. That's automatically. The same thing should pop in your head when females, the same thing should pop in your head when you talking to a Negroid. And what I mean by that, so you was talking to one Negroid and he had short hair. And this Negroid didn't do you no good. And then now you go deal with another Negroid and he got locks in his fucking hair. But this Negroid and that Negroid is just a different phenotype. Same Negroid, because guess what? This Negroid do some of the same shit the last Negroid did. Now, at that particular time, does shadow work come in or do you need a kick in your fucking ass? Which one is it? Do you need a kick in your ass or do you need shadow work? Which one is that? Which one is it? You need a kick in your fucking ass. That's what you do. Stop being enamored by beautiful words because that's what you love. You beautiful words and swag. Oh, I like his swag. His swag is no different than the last nigga's swag. He just go about his shit a little bit different than he do. It just instead of the first one drove straight through the red light. This nigga here likes to stop. He stops at the red light and cruises through the motherfucking yellow lights. That's what he does. So therefore, they're still the same though. There's no difference. You only want to do shadow work when shit is not working for you because you keep doing the same thing. That's the definition of insanity. That's what that is. And you try to pass this bullshit off to our children to keep our children in a state of fucking trauma. There is not one kid. I don't remember even having trauma until I fucking became 18. Well, pause. I got shot when I was 14. So that's the trauma. But I brought the trauma on myself. Let's just say that. Hanging out, doing shit I ain't had no business doing. But before then, I can't remember as like trauma. We literally force our children to think of negative shit all the time. Why do we want to do that? Why do we want to have our children think of negative BS all the time? Well, the reason why you're doing that is because guess what? You still got things held in. You have trauma. Really? Really? That's the reason? Or I just like this shit, huh? I like to be treated. See, the one thing people don't want to admit, they like to be treated dirty. You want to be treated dirty in the bedroom? Smack my ass, pull my hair, choke me. Same type of nigga that's going to treat you dirty outside the bedroom. So some of us like to be treated dirty. We cover it up and say we don't and blame the other one for it. But you like to be, just like when my dumb ass kept thinking I'm going to sell drugs and put myself in a better position that the police ain't going to lock my dumb ass up. Yeah, I get away with it for a period of time. Guess what? Here they come. Boom, locked up. That's what you ever see somebody constantly in and out of jail? That wasn't me, but I was in and out of there at one point in time to a certain degree. You ever see somebody in and out of jail? Because they think that they can outsmart the negative shit energy that they're putting out. That's what it is. You see them going in and out of jail. Nigga, you like jail. You might well go in there and sit there for a minute. Why are you crying about being in jail? Why are you calling on the phone asking for chi-chi money and television money? Nigga, you like being in there. You should have, when you get out of jail, stack your money up so that way you can go back in there and have some money. Period. That's just point blank and simple. That's it. So I'm looking for somebody to explain to me, and I knew nobody was going. Let me explain something to you. I knew that nobody that has common sense and use common sense and logic was going to call in here to try to explain to me biologically that focusing on trauma is beneficial to your psychological and physical growth and development. I know no fools. You can't possibly call in here to try, and you see the long ass statements they be writing. Oh man, that ain't shadow work, man. Shadow work is being able to focus on and see, bro. I don't need to focus on. I don't need to focus on me going to motherfucking me selling drugs and going to jail to know what the outcome of me selling drugs and going to jail. I don't need to focus on stupid the last joker that did me dirty when I know that it's me that's picking these individuals. I'm picking the individual that I'm choosing to be in my life. I am choosing because everyone has a choice. Women control sex, men control relationships. Everyone has a choice. You have a choice to give him sex. He has a choice if he want to be in a long-term relationship with you. That's it. You can control these things. You can control your outcome. Believers cannot control their destiny. So because they can't control their destiny, they usurp your energy for their journey. But believers can't control their destiny. Believers want you to constantly believe, because once you start to know, you no longer become a believer. You no longer become a slave. You no longer become a person that's just watching people and thinking that I'm learning something from them, when you're learning from every aspect of life. Every aspect of life. Everybody has been in a negative situation. You're in hell. Where the fuck you think you at? Earth is Earth is not hell, but the realm in which we are living in, this is hell. How you not have negative experiences? I don't give a fuck if you went and got a watermelon from the store and when you cut it open, it was bad. I don't care if you got a piece of fruit from the store when you cut it open and you was like, this shit is no. Everyone had a negative experience in life. What you do with those experiences in the future determines who you are. See, when I went to the market and I grabbed a mango and when I peeled it and I'm like, damn, it's not sweet enough. So when I went to the market the next time, I looked at the mango. I said, no, this was like the last mango I grabbed. Nope, don't want to grab that one. Let me grab this one. I end up grabbing a sweet one. See? That's called learning. That's not me sitting in a fucking corner, lighting a candle in the dark and saying, damn, I picked a bad mango. The shit was dry. Why do I keep picking bad mangoes? Because your ass don't want to, you don't want to learn from your last experience and say, hey, I want to do something different. That's why. That's why. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So I sit here, let me see. I haven't got one phone call. Of course, I'm not going to get any phone calls. This is something. Oh, what's this? Was this today? Oh, today. I haven't got one phone call. Let me see. Did I? Nope. I wanted that. Well, this was earlier today. Yep. Shadow work. I'm still waiting for somebody to explain this to me thoroughly. How shadow work is beneficial to us, our psychological and physical growth. I just want to know this. I truly do. I am literally begging somebody to really explain this shit to me. I've been asking for this for the longest, and no one seems to do it. No one seems to be able to do it. This shadow work thing. I am so determined to learn this shit, to learn why it's so important to focus on negative things. It's so important to focus on negative things. I'm dying to learn this shit. I'm dead serious. Because see, I want to say this about our males now, right? You males that are now talking this shadow work shit, you like, I don't, let me just say this to males. You know you're supposed to have some sort of aggression. When you were a boy, when you were little with a boy, you didn't want to play with doll babies. You wanted to get wrestling men. You was like, boom, you was crashing them into shit. You wanted the race car or a truck, so you can room, room, room. You wanted to be physical. Aggression is very needed to become a fucking man. Because sometimes you got to dig into that aggression when you out there doing no matter what you're doing. Changing a tire on a car, bringing some furniture in a fucking house. You have to tap into that. You ever see somebody lifting weights in the gym? Y'all ladies being in the gym and you hear men across the gym, and they lifting weights and they dropping it, boom. That's aggression. You just like that aggression because it's weight. You don't like the aggression when he be like, yo, I need you to be a better motherfucking woman. Oh, why are you talking like that? I need you to be a better fucking woman for yourself and for me. See, that's still aggression. But you don't like that. You needed to be told to you in a soft manner. You see? And what happens is that males are being emasculated on the planet biochemically through foods, spiritually by the woman, by their mothers, yes, and through television entertainment. We are being emasculated. We are, and it's a purpose for that. Just so that you know that. You understand, it's a purpose for that. Because when you are weak as a man, your creator, the only one that can create your suit, is vulnerable. Vulnerable. So who she's going to run to? Who you going to run to share that special? Who's going to run to? Yeah. Waiting on a king that's actually woke. I totally understand that. And that's what you should be doing. You wait for the person that comes your way that is beneficial to your psychological and spiritual growth, physical growth. You fucking better believe that. I encourage every woman to do that. I encourage every male to do it as well. I encourage every male to do it as well. Absolutely. You wait until that person comes. And then when that person comes, guess what? You know why a lot of relationships fail? Because we're not asking and talking about what we really want. We're whenever you can't name any natural animal in nature that fuck for free or fuck for fun or for pleasure. You can't name not one natural animal in nature. Every time they have sex, there is a baby on the end of that shit. There is an offspring. So women need to develop that type of attitude when you're talking to a male. Where do you see yourself at as far as children? Simple as that. But you know what's happening, and I just want to say this, and this is just being I'm not knocking none of my younger brothers because I was young. I was much younger at one point in time, wisdom wise. I would say this: we don't mature into that stage where as though it's stability until we are much older. So a lot of young women are having experiences with young guys. We don't have any reason. Males don't have a reason to become angelic benevolent beings. We don't have a reason to be astrologists. We don't have a reason to be our own herbalists. We don't have a reason to be our own teachers. We don't have a reason for that. We don't. Because you would be the reason that I would want to do that. Because you would demand that. You would demand that I would teach you something. You would demand that I would be able to massage your mind and you would be able to learn from me. You would demand that. You did at one point in time, but you don't demand that now. You demand, how do he look? He looks good. What do he have? Okay, he got a car. He got a couple dollars. These are the things that you demand in order to give males the very pleasure of you. Some of y'all don't even demand that. You demand you got some herb, you got some liquor. See? And then next thing you know, bam. He doesn't have a reason to go past the nigga, the human, the thug, the gangster, he don't have a reason to go past any of that shit no more because you accept that shit. See? You accept it. You can get mad at me all you want. You can say, oh, Kala, I don't like the way you're saying that. It's just not right because I am not the one accepting that. You're looking at yourself as an individual instead of the entirety of the whole, my sisters. That's all I'm saying to you. You're not. I was 14 years old and I had sex. There is no reason for me to be having sex at 14 years of age. I just want you to know that. 14, 15, 16, 17. No, it's no reason. And those ages are all made up. But at that young of stage, I should not be having sex at that stage. I should be mastering alchemy, internal alchemy, which is me. That's what I should have been doing. There is no reason. But so me having sex at that age, what reason would I have to be better other than what I'm already doing? See, let me say this to you. Males are repetitive in what they do. So that's why I say this to women all the time. And people get mad at me all the time. So if it worked with the last woman, me smoking weed and her drinking, and I got some vagina, guess what I'm going to do with the next one? Same shit. Same shit with the next one. Same shit with the next one. Same shit with the niggas use what they know that works for them the best. That's what they're going to do. So that's why I tell women, if you meet a man, you meet a male, and the first thing that he wants to offer you when y'all go out together is some drugs, you need to leave him the fuck alone. Leave him right where he stands. It's one thing if you go to him, y'all go out together and you be like, yeah, you know what? I want to have a drink. I want to smoke some herb. I want to do X, Y, and Z, whatever. It's one thing if you say that to him. But if the first thing he says to you that yo, shorty, I got some herb. Yo, come on, let's do some shrooms together. Come on, let's go have a drink. Let's go get something to eat and have a drink. Why? No, you should not want to do that. You should not want to do that at all. And I mean what I'm fucking saying. You should not. No fucking man that really takes you serious and want to take you off the market is want to put drugs inside of you first and foremost. Because guess what? A man is thinking about his bloodline. And a man is not only just thinking about his bloodline, he's thinking about you. He's thinking about how healthy you can be to carry on his bloodline. So no, not the fuck at all. That goes for any male. And I mean this. And women that have experiences, y'all know what I'm talking about. Talk to me. You know what I'm talking about. You just might like the shrimps and the lobsters and the shit like that. You might like that type of shit. So therefore, you looking like, fuck it, he paying for this. I'm gonna eat this tonight. I'm gonna eat good tonight, girl, and I'm gonna have me a drink. But that doesn't do anything for you. That actually takes away from you. Why would he offer something so great, so precious, so rare in the cosmos, poison? Hmm? Why would he do that? So, you know, let me go back over here to my original let me get back over here. For my shadow work people, let me read this to you. Some of the people that are now coming into my live. For my shadow work people, I ask you to call in and give me some, give me some give me some enlightenment regarding how shadow work is so important for our psychological and physical growth. When everything about science, when science says chemistry, biology, neurology says that is a no-no. And everything that you have in this world, for the most part, have you focuses on negative shit anyway. Think about that for a second, so-called black people. Everything in this world designed for you is to have you in a negative state of mind. You may not have enough money to pay your bills. Look at this shit that's happening. And now you're stressing. Oh my gosh, I can't pay my bills. Oh, I just, the inflation. Oh my God. See, everything is to keep you in a negative state, from religion to your job to the clock to the calendar. Everything. Oh, I'm getting older now. Oh my gosh, my birthday just passed. I'm getting older now. Everything is to keep us in a negative state of mind. Everything. Because once you become in a positive state of mind, you start to control your reality. So let me read this to you again. Again, this is live. You can get this off the internet. The psychological tendencies of focusing on negative aspects of a situation over positive ones is called negativity bias. Negativity bias. This can include paying more attention to negative stimuli. People with a negative bias may dwell on negative events and give more importance to negative experiences than positive or natural gains. Ooh, or excuse me, or positive or natural ones. My apologies. Okay. Expecting the worst. Expecting the worst. People with a negativity bias may expect the worst in others. This is what happens. You ever be going out somewhere just because they're so negative and they be like, oh, look at them dudes on the corner. Them dudes on the corner, that don't mean they selling drugs. You know how many guys that I know in black neighborhoods that just be sitting out and they just be chilling with each other? That don't mean that they going to war with somebody. That don't mean that they're a gang. That doesn't mean none of that. And people be like, oh man, look at this. Look at them over there. Look at that crew. They up to no good, because they themselves are up to no good. So therefore, you have no problem looking at other people and passing off that, or trying to pass off that negative outlook on life, especially with them. See, that's all. And a lot of us get negative outlooks on life from your master. Just so that you know, your master give you the negative outlooks on life. So, okay, placing more weight on negative aspects. People with a negativity bias may place more weight on negativity aspects of an event and fear the consequences of negative outcomes more than their desired positive gains. Wow. Okay. Give more weight to bad descriptors. People with a negative bias may give more weight to bad descriptors when forming a first impression. Another term related to negative thinking is rumination, which is the which is the repetitive thinking or dwelling on negative feelings and distress. Rumination can contribute to the development of depression or anxiety. Why would I need to focus on negative? Why would I need to? Why would I need to? Just tell me that. How am I going to grow from that? I know I haven't been on live on YouTube in a minute, my people. Don't worry. When I do my live YouTube on my computer, trust me, you have no idea. I see what's going on with the sun. And didn't I tell you what's going to happen? What did I tell you people was going to happen when it comes down to all these people on the internet? What did I tell you they was going to do? That's why I really don't that's why I really haven't been on here like that. I just post little 15, 14 minutes and 55-second videos. That's all, because they don't let me screen record and do anything else on Instagram, because I want to load everything up to Instagram too. But what did I tell you that everybody's going to be talking about? Hmm? You know, everybody's going to be talking about the sun and the genetics. Why? Because throughout the entirety of the fucking universe, the number one rule is to know thyself. The number one rule in the entire fucking cosmos is to know thyself. And when you know thyself, before I say that, black people, so-called black people, we walk around in these suits 100% of the time. We use them 100% of the time. This is our house right here. And guess what? We don't even know we don't even know how the furniture operates in this motherfucking house. The heart, the liver, the kidney, the motherfucking pancreas, the hypothalamus, the thalamus, the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, our fucking somatic so sensory cortex, you know what I mean? Our prefrontal lobe, our front. We don't have a fucking clue on how that shit works with the planet and the entire solar system. We don't. We have a fucking clue. Not one fucking clue for the most part. You ask somebody, what's your chromosome? What do you mean? I don't know. What do you mean? How you don't know your fucking chromosome? That's the most basic motherfucking question you should be able to answer to somebody when somebody asks you, what is your chromosome? Blase, blase. There you go. Motherfuckers can't even answer that. We are, we are, we are children. We are literally children in a mental state. And let me just say this to you. We are children mentally, right? But let me tell you something. We are it's a deliberate, it's deliberate, it's a deliberate attempt. It's fucking it's a 100% focus to keep us in an infant state of mind. Just so that you know that. And they are using our own people to do it. So what I told y'all, that the sun, everybody is going to talk about the sun. And if you notice, people are talking about the moon too. I seen the moon today here in Philly, right? When I was leaving out this morning to go to the gym. I couldn't believe how big this motherfucker was, sitting on a fucking horizon, setting around, let me see, I went to the gym around 7:30, so I would say it was setting around between 8:30. I couldn't believe how big that moon was. And then looking at everything that's happening on the planet, all the videos that are coming out now about this shit that's happening in the sky, more light coming in. Shout out to Mr. MB333. Shout out to you, Mr. MB3. I told you, I like your subscribers. I like some of the shit you talk about, but I also know that you don't give the full truth on what you feel or what you are observing. How you don't give the full truth about what you are observing. Someone is controlling. I believe someone is controlling your output. Let's just put it to you like that. I don't know, maybe because I speak on your videos and I speak on your subscribers in a way that I describe certain things that are taking place on our planet. Maybe that is, put a button on your tongue. I don't know. That could possibly be it. I don't know. I doubt that though, because I shouldn't affect you. You understand? Because I'm not financially paying for yours. I'm not financially giving you any gain. You're not gaining anything from me. However, or it could be, that you're trying to get your platform on one of these major networks. So therefore you are cautious about what you are speaking about. But I just want to say this to you, Mr. MB33. Let me just say this to you, right? The world would never be able to give you the reward that the universe will for walking in a righteous path. I just want you to know that. The world will never be able to give you anything that the universe could not supersede for you moving in a righteous path. Just know that. I just want you to understand that. So when you report on certain things, I just hope that you actually report on them exactly how you feel, how you truly feel, versus, you know, halfway how you feel. You see? Because you and I both know these geometrical clouds that you see in the sky with these 90-degree angles, there is something sitting there. There is something sitting there, and it's observing and it's watching. Because I want you also to know this, Mr. MB33, and all the subscribers too that watch my videos. Here's the deal. They're not, what you don't understand is this is like a fucking movie right here. This is, you know how we turn the TV on and we flip through different channels. You can watch a military fighting movie. You can watch you can watch pretty much any type of movie you want, a horror flick, whatever you want. This is what they're doing as they're looking down here. They tune into horror flicks. They tune into fucking happy go time. They tune into football games, sporting events. They tune into music, entertainment. This is what they are observing. On other planets, they don't have this stuff right here. On other realms, it's not none of this. This right here, this realm, this is what all the foolishness goes on. So they are observing as they are waiting for the perfect alignment. That's all they're waiting for, the perfect alignment. It's not waiting for nothing else. This entity on this planet has zero power. It has manipulation, and that's it. It has manipulation. So I thank you and your subscribers for posting the videos, some of the videos that you are posting and you are sharing. But when I do go live, I want you to know I'm going to use a few of your videos just that your subscribers have sent in, just so I can drive my point home regarding my brothers and sisters who we're now pulling up to. Yeah, we're pulling up to. They're watching this shit go down. They are literally watching this shit go down. I'm telling you, they can't believe and fathom that our species, because the people that were watching Earth as Earth was traveling throughout the solar system is totally different from now we're back home. Everybody's observing us. See, it wasn't like, yo, I'm going to Earth to go check out some bullshit. I'll be back. See, it used to be like that. Yo, we going down to Earth to go check out some bullshit. I'll be back. Let me go see what the fuck going on. No, it's not like that now. See, we're home now. Or we're almost there. We like 2 blocks away from home. That's where we at. And they're observing and watching this shit because they're going to watch and see how many of our brothers and sisters move like the complex cell organism. They're going to watch this. This is going to be watched, and the shutdown is going to be so amazing. The shutdown is going to be more amazing than the startup. See, the startup of this was slavery. The shutdown is going to be even more amazing. So yeah, their cracks are in the dome. Yeah, of course they are. Y'all know that. I've been showing you this on the Magneto's Pulse, that these cracks are in the dome and it's spewing in overwhelming of radiation. We are scuba diving in radiation, and the planet is absorbing this. And it's and with all the rain, this is nothing but crust, like a pie crust. With all the rain is softening up the crust, and that radiation is being absorbed, go through the North and the South Pole, and it comes out through the core of the Earth. Now, what's going to happen is this Earth is going to shake. Parts of it is going to shake, but what is not going to shake now is the Earth. We're not going. I don't believe that the Earth is going to shake at this point. It's going to shake when 99.9% of truth is on the table. That is when this Earth, I believe, is going to shake. When 99.9% of the truth is on the table. The last 1% of the truth is when our brothers and sisters touch down on this planet. See, the entities that's in the dark that created the complex cell organism to do this bullshit, they got to be revealed. And if you, I know that people are talking about there's a lot of CGI videos out here. Yes, there are. And more importantly, these CGI videos had to come out because guess what? There are larger animals that are larger species that are starting to pop up on parts of this planet. Just so that you know, large species, literally. You understand? And don't act like giants didn't walk this planet before. Yes, they did. And it's not like they died off. No, they're still around. Trust me when I tell you. So these are the things that are coming our way. And if you think that Trump and Kamala Harris is that is what this is about, not even close. Not even close. It don't make a difference which one of them make it into the office, just so that you know that. They're going to have to handle, or it's gonna seem like they have to handle the collapse of the money, the market, the American dollar, the stock market crashing, the food shortage. Is going to have to handle that, and they're going to use events that are taking place with the sun and the earth so they can push climate change. So this is why climate change is so on the table now with the Democratic Party, Draconian Party, so on the table now. And guess what? The other party is going to jump right on it as well. Absolutely. Oh my God. So you had to write that a couple times. Yeah, the beard is what it is, man. See, you like Diddy up in this joint, man. We got another Diddy up in here, man. Call in, man. Call in. You shouldn't be concerned about what happened. Long as my woman like it. That's all that matters. Long as the females that I lay down with love it. See what I'm saying to you? So why don't you call in? He had to type, listen, he had to type the shit, or it had to type it so many times to get people attention because he didn't have any attention. This is what I'll tell you, like, he had to type that shit so many times. That entity had to type that so many times. That tells you the mental illnesses that certain people are with, and you're mad. Yo, listen, my shit is right. My shit is right tight. Yes, it is. Uh-huh. My shit is right and tight. Uh-huh. Yo, ladies, make you mad. Let me get some purple hearts from some women in here. Yeah. Fuck is you mad about me for? You worrying about what the fuck I'm doing with myself? That's crazier than a motherfucker. You niggas is crazy. Mad. Is you mad that you got that animal DNA? Are you mad or are you mad? Call in. That's what I would do. I'd be like, yo, let me call in and talk to this nigga real fast. Call in, bro. Call in. That's how I know you entities, all y'all work together and y'all can't stop me, man. Y'all can't stop, man. Fuck Collide. It ain't even about me. Y'all can't stop that gas giant in the sky. You can't stop that you great eat each other. You can't stop none of this shit. You can't, and then you even more mad because everything that I stated over the last several years is happening right now. And you're living in it. And here's the other deal about it. I never called myself a teacher. I never called myself a prophet. Thank y'all, divine sisters. Thank y'all so much. I never called myself a teacher. I never called myself a leader. I never called myself a fucking prophet. None of that shit. I always stated that we all have a piece of this puzzle and it's inside of my heart. Okay, where you calling that? You ain't calling this phone. Oh, ho. You calling in? Let me see you calling. Let me make sure. Let me turn this motherfucker all the way up. Oh. What number you called in on? What's the area code? I'm gonna call that number back. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Peace, appreciation, and value. Hello?
Hi, Columbo. Forgive me because I don't know how this live situation works. So if there's something with my audio or anything like that, just let me know what I need to do. I'm in my 40s. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I do want to speak to you.
Okay. I'm listening to you.
Okay, perfect. Mm-hmm. So first I'd like to just predicate where I'm coming from. Firstly, I don't disagree with absolutely anything that you've mentioned or ever said in regards to science, right? I'm 42 plus, and I did well in science. Science is my favorite, subject in school, physics specifically. in my latter years. I went to school for nursing, did 3 years, didn't finish. Science is, I agree with your science, right? I just feel like there is an aspect of our divinity that is being omitted that also needs to have a light shed on it. Mm-hmm. Secondly, I am a Leo, and in my spiritual practices, I am ruled by the sun. So I sun gaze. I go out in the sun daily. I ground my feet onto Gaia every day. Mm-hmm. So I don't disagree with anything that you said in that regard. I do feel as though there is a deep aspect of our divinity as, the divine beings that we are, that is being ignored, not by, choice per se, just by lack of understanding of the totality of who we are. My spiritual path has shown me I'm an ancient being. I've come back many a times. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that what you're saying in regards to the shadow work, there is maybe a misconception on how that is a part of the generational curse breakers that most of us that are tuning into your channel are, yourself included, right? Mm-hmm. So what I would like for you and your viewers to consider is that not only is what you're saying true, but there is another aspect of what you're saying, or that, part of what we're evolving into, another aspect of our genetics, and what, like you just mentioned, the higher realms who are in fact watching us, mm-hmm. right? They're watching what the divine, called and chosen, and those who have answered the call are doing. That mm-hmm. is absolutely correct. And a part of that is the recognition of the fact that we are in fact healing traumas and experiences that not are only ours in this lifetime, but ours from previous lifetimes and those of our ancestors before us, and those for our children and grandchildren after us, right? Mm-hmm. And a part of that is accepting that there are some things that we've experienced, whether we subconsciously hid them, whether we are consciously ignoring and avoiding them, that need to be felt temporarily. There should not be this extended period of woe is me and my life is so horrible, or trauma that we need to hold on to. But there is an aspect of those things that needs to be addressed and felt so that they can be understood, healed, and released, so that they are no more. That is also what those beyond this realm are watching, are waiting for us to do, that they did not have the ability to do in the lifetimes of which they were in this particular dimension. So you made an example, I believe, on your you made a video prior to this one, just saying that you were going to do this live call, and you made an example about going down an alley or a street or something traumatic happening, and some people just keep going down the street and having that trauma. And I think that the premise of what you were attempting to say, I get it, but I think that there's this omission, right? So when you said that, the first thing that came to heart and the spirit brought to me was that, okay, if, say, for instance, you're looking for a promotion, right? Or you're looking for, some type of whatever, and you're in high school, whatever the case may be, and you have a big test, and this test is going to be the determining factor if you're going to get this raise or this promotion, and you're going to get this, whatever it is that you're aspiring to get from it. Mm-hmm. And the first time you bomb, you fail it, it's horrible, you studied all this time, you put all this energy, time, and effort into it, and you failed it, right? It's traumatic because you've already, made your mind up that this extra X amount of money is going to change your life or that of your family, the trajectory of your life, right? And that's traumatic, like, because trauma isn't always, abuse or, neglect and all that, but a lot of the times as divine beings, that's a lot of what we've experienced or that we feel for our bloodline. However, if you fail that test once, but you go back a second, a third, and maybe even a fourth time, and you actually get the job done, right? It doesn't make that first time any less traumatic, right? But it doesn't mean that you don't go back to revisit it, to see the mistake, to see where you missed, to see, the aspects of things that you did not recognize or you did not know from the first time, or that you weren't willing to accept or to even address the first time. So that's the same thing with shadow work. It's not that you're necessarily wanting to hone in on the traumatic aspects, or that you're wanting to just be in the negativity, because who wants to do that? No one. Absolutely no one. I don't care how high on hierarchy and money and all that. Nobody wants to deal with things that don't feel good. I don't care if it's family, if it's work drama, if it's relationship issues. Nobody wants to do those things. But just because your heart got broken by the first girl you ever loved, or the first guy you ever fell in love with, doesn't mean that you don't go back into it. But now you go into it with a different perspective. Now you go into it with a different reality and a different open-mindedness that allows you to. Go ahead.
Can I interject just with one thing real fast? Okay, now let me say this to you. When you spoke about the test, right, and you going to school and you're filling out for a test, right, that is someone else's vision or someone else's way of life that you are adapting to. So you can't control the outcome of that test, because guess what? Who's to say that you actually failed that test? The only reason why you failed that test is because the person that created that test for you has all the answers, and you have to answer the test the way that they want you to answer it. When you moving through life and you mixed in a relationship, you can control that. See, because guess what? You can control the relationship and who you're dealing with by the questions that you ask this person and what you seek in the individual. If you just seeking to gain something in someone else's world and someone else's vision, of course you're going to experience trauma. That's just like a lot of people that believe in certain religions, they constantly go through trauma. But people that start to know themselves and start to move in their own purpose, now the trauma starts to become to an end, because you're no longer putting yourself in someone else's shoes. You're no longer putting yourself in someone else's vision. You are moving in your own light. So even when you're in a relationship with someone, even though two parties are together, you're still moving in your own light.
May I interject?
Yes.
Okay, so by your own premise, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just good, because let's be clear, I'm an avid reader. I've been that way since I was a kid. I don't care if it was Judy Blume or I just finished The Alchemist, and I'm currently reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So I'm a reader, just like you, right? I read. So that's the same premise, my brother, right? We're going off of information that has been written by others, some of which are touched and are there divinely there to give us the guidance, other of which are there to throw us off course. Just like they tell us not to look in the sun when in fact it's exactly what we need to be doing. So a lot of times we read these books, right? It's the same thing as you're saying when it comes to the test, but you're relying so heavily on the books that are written by others without going within, which is what shadow work is. It's not just using the books, because those are very important, very essential to our growth, but they are not the only thing of which we base our growth and our evolution spiritually upon. Mm-hmm. So that's a good example that you gave me with the test, but it does not actually kind of coincide with what you believe completely, that comes only from the books and the science. There is an aspect within our deeper inner selves that only we can get from tapping into all parts of us, the beautiful, the ugly, and everything in between. You feel me?
I feel that part, but the only way the only way we even know about any ugliness, you can actually, even children don't know anything about ugliness. Children don't know anything about robbery and murder and violence until we teach them that. So we're putting ourselves like in other people's shoes, which is allowing us to tap into frequencies that really don't even exist to us. So when I sit there, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, so what I'm saying is you're not wrong. See, that's the thing. You're not wrong in what you're saying. I'm just saying there's an extended aspect of that, because you're right about the children and they don't know, but it's also the same parts of us that we don't know, that our ancestors, that the beings of which you're referring to, that are beyond us, that are watching us, those of which who are part of our spiritual team, whether it's an ancestor that's passed on, that's on our team to support and guide us, whether it's an archangel, whatever it is, and whoever it is that you believe specifically, because there's a plethora of those that are on our spiritual teams, right? It's the same thing of what you're saying. It just goes over and beyond just the books and just the science, because the science is, in fact, an intricate foundational aspect of our spiritual being. But I can tell you now, I'm ancient. I know for a fact that I've been here multiple lifetimes, right? That is what has been revealed to me in these last several years on my journey, including which following you has given me a different perspective on other aspects of my being. And you've been a very integral part of my journey and my awakening. So I thank you for that and your effort and your energy that you put into myself and others. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that those beings that you're referring to, it's like the children. They've already done it. So they need us to feel through, to express and to feel these things deeply, some of which are ours, right? Maybe it's a mother wound, maybe it's a father wound, maybe it's, abuse, trauma, rape, whatever it is that people have gone through in their own experience this lifetime. But we are doing way more than just for ourselves, because as energetic beings, we are not just healing ourselves. We're not just healing for our children. I have 4, 23, 22, 17, and 15, and I have a 3-year-old grandson, right? So I know that I'm not just healing for them and for their children's children. I'm healing for my grandmother and her grandmother and her grandmother, right? I'm doing things that they were not energetically able to do because of the different aspects of the planetary alignments and things that were not in place and were not set to even happen until this point in time, which you mentioned before, and I absolutely agree with, right? So a part of the shadow work is to feel through all the things in our bloodline. There's things that people and the sun and the solar flares and all these things are bringing in energies, and it's erupting in a volcanic kind of way. The things that which we don't even understand, like, wait, why do I feel this way? I've never experienced that. It's not about you. It's about the DNA, like the genetics that you're referring to, the epigenetics. So there's such a deeply intricate aspect of what we're healing that it doesn't make sense. And there's no way we can box it into just the science, right? That we're way more than just the science. Now, again, I have to iterate. I am ancient. I'm very ancient. So I get the science. I almost can pinpoint eons ago when we brought science into this realm. But what I'm trying to get you and some of the viewers who may be on the fence about shadow work to understand is that the science came long after the spiritual aspect.
Hold on, wait a second. That's virtually impossible, because everything, science is math and math is science, and everything in the solar system boils down, when you break it all the way down, is broken down through science. Now you say the books, right? Now let me just say this to you, because people says this all the time. The one thing about science is that you cannot change the functionality of physics, neurology, genetics, biology. You cannot change that. That's the difference between shadow work and in science, because I can make or even talk. Let's talk about, let's say, history. History, I can make up any type of story, but when it comes to the heart, the way the heart functions and how it communicates with the brain, that has been going on since the beginning of what you would call life. The number one rule in science, that which is natural cannot change unless something unnatural takes place to it. So that has been going on since the beginning of life. So now once I start to understand how my heart works and what is it made up of, neuroreceptors, my heart holds memory, my heart creates an entire biofield, like earth biofield. Now I start to correlate myself with the entirety of the planet as well as the solar system. So yes, I would say that books don't give you books are not going to have you master your own alchemy, but science books will bring you aware that you can master your own alchemy, that you can control your own destiny, that you are manifesting tomorrow with the thoughts that you are having today. So
Right.
by knowing that by knowing that right there, that's more powerful than any work that right there alleviates me from doing shadow work, because now I say to myself, what the thoughts I am having today is going to be my creation of tomorrow. So if I'm
If I
thinking,
may,
if I'm
go
thinking,
ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no. So if I'm thinking negative today, or I'm having a negative outcome, or I'm always having negative outcomes today, that's because of my thinking pattern. And why am
Yeah.
I thinking like this? Is it
Right.
something that I'm putting in my body? Is it something that I'm ingesting through my eyes, my ears, I'm eating? These are the
Right.
things that will start to these are the things that will start to come to your mind versus saying, okay, I need to do shadow work, because now I'm gonna limit who's around me, because most people that start to come into their true awakening start to become loners. They start to become
Mhm.
by themselves. Why
Right.
you start to be by yourself? Because you start to realize that the people that are around you and majority of the world are moving deaf, dumb, and blind. And you're no longer moving like that.
Right. So if I may,
Yes.
so a few points.
Mm-hmm.
So books are the door. Books are the door from this human experience, because some of the things you're saying, you're boxing in the divine source, God, universe, whatever the entity is that people like to name, that is the creation of all things.
Mm-hmm.
Books are the door. Books did not come first. The language and the information in books, we didn't have books. We spoke, and as you've mentioned before, we spoke telepathically. We did not need books. That it was never a part of our original being, right?
Yes.
We are not the body. We are energetic beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and only humans need books. Where the different planets and different galaxies of which our souls come from, and all of us are come from all the different places of which the galaxy, all the different galaxies of which the universe embodies.
Mm-hmm.
We all come from different places. Earth was initially intended to be, and when it first was created, it was supposed to be kind of like a resort where you could come down, you could feel, you could have this physical experience, you could have sex, you could have, all these different things that you cannot have as an energetic being that only humans could have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're as spiritual beings having a human experience. And then when you spoke about our thoughts, right? Well, our thoughts aren't our own. That is our higher self, our oversoul, right? That is, our spiritual team, our archangels, our grandmothers, our ancestors have gone before us. Those are our thoughts are never ours. So you make a valid point when it comes to the thoughts, because the thoughts are the way that they normally, that's the first line of attack from the ops, right? That's how they get us, because we think that our thoughts are ours, and they're not. They're being implanted in us in order to thwart us from our actual divinity, right? Our higher self is who we need to tap into. We can only do that when we are doing our shadow work, which allows us to feel, because we have to feel to reveal what needs to be healed. And there's the thoughts, when we don't know that those thoughts are not ours, whether they're thoughts that empower and enlighten us, or they're thoughts that bring us down and keep us low vibrational. We have to have a deeper understanding of who we are in order to know where, or to feel
Uh,
where those thoughts are actually coming from, and are they advantageous, or are they actually hindering and harming us? Does that
okay.
make sense?
No, well, here's the deal though. This is where I disagree with you at, because now you're taking the power out of you and you're putting it into someone else, because now you're saying your thoughts are not yours. So in psychology, that would be considered someone that is mentally disturbed, because now you're not even thinking for yourself. Someone else is thinking for you. I don't agree with that aspect of life. I believe that every
So
thought that I had in my mind came from me and my experiences that I have been through. Every action that I have done came from me and my experiences that I've been through. No matter if those actions were righteous or those actions end up 3D actions, those are
And
still
you're
my.
referring to
Go
those
ahead.
actions within only this singular lifetime, when you're such an infinite being. Is
No, no,
that
no,
what you're
right.
saying?
No, no, hold on. Let me say this. Those thoughts that I'm having through my mind, right, are coming. Majority of those thoughts come from the time, the experiences that you have right now. But then you have let me just, you have memory. Your cells hold memory, past, present, and future. They have, the melanin holds memory. So when you have other thoughts, what you would call higher thoughts, meaning that here, okay, here's what I mean. Is it better for me to eat chicken, or is it better for me to drink this fruit smoothie? That's not my ancestors. That's me. And that's knowledge of self, knowing that if I eat this chicken, it's going to make me sick. It's going to make me weak. It's going to make me lethargic, versus me drinking this fruit smoothie that's going to have more vitality in it, more energy, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to give me more life. That's me wanting to be healthy for me and my species. That is my thoughts. That is not someone else's thoughts, because you have children right now. You have grown adults right now that you have children and grown adults right now that you see. How can I say this? You have that knows that eating or smoking. Let's say take somebody that smokes cigarettes. You hear people that smoke cigarettes, and you be like, yo, cigarettes are bad for you. They be like, I know cigarettes are bad for me, but we all gonna die one day. That's their thought. That's their own thought and their own process. They have adapted that and they have accepted that. That's not, I can't, that's the reason why we have to be careful with that, because now we exonerate people from doing violent acts, because now he can say, well, that wasn't my thought. That was somebody else's thought, and they said that shit in my head, and I did it because they told me to do it. No, you are responsible for you 100% of the time. What you act on is you 100% of the time.
So, okay, so there's a few things on that. Firstly, you believing that it's only you is such a limiting aspect of what source and those who came before you, your bloodline and your spiritual team, they are present. If you feel like you're the only one cosmically protecting and guiding your choices, your words, the lives, and the solar updates and things that you do, if you feel like you're the only part of your existence that is a part of that, your limiting source who created you to do more, who put energetic beings on your specific spiritual team to assist you. So the way they assist you is not only through, guiding you to read this and that, because there's things that are being said to you, and it sounds like our voice. So that's the thing. That's the thing that it can throw you off, because it sounds like it's us sometimes, whether it's to our advantage or not. It sounds like it's just ourselves speaking to us, but it is not. It is either demonic entities that we both can agree that do come, and that possession is real, and people being able to do things and they can't remember how they did it. That's real. And just like I said before, where they say, we're not supposed to look in the sun, we're not supposed to do this, and there's so many opposites that we are actually supposed to do with divine beings, right? It's the same thing when it comes to certain mental health issues, bipolarism, schizophrenia. In certain third world countries, schizophrenia is honored because it is a spiritual thing. Bipolarism is a spiritual thing. That is a way that they have used for many of years. They say the spiritual beings that are bipolar and schizophrenia, they're crazy, when they're actually so energetically powerful, and they came into this realm and it was not what they could handle energetically, and it flipped the switch, but they are actually highly spiritual beings. So there's just some aspects of the science that I think that you're not allowing yourself to be as open as I would prefer you to be, to see that those are also things that have been flipped and that are opposite of what they actually are, that hinder us from completing our journey and our mission to the totality of which we've been called to do, right? So there's a covering, there's responsibility in the work, and that is acknowledging that there are entities and spiritual, highly vibrational beings that are on our team that are guiding us through our thoughts, through turn left versus right on this street, because they know that there's an accident coming this way, versus look on page 22 versus page 44 to make your point. It's not us that are just doing that. We are supported.
Well,
It's not just us. That's limited source.
But I don't consider that being limited to the source, because here we are. I am the source. You see what my mother is the source. So I wouldn't consider me being limited to source, because now hold on. Let me hold on. I'll let you go. Now let me go. Now you stated that there are other entities that are helping. So you're telling me that there are entities that are helping people out here kill each other? That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
You're telling me that.
It's
Right.
Baby, we are spiritual warfare.
All right. So now let me you said yes. Now hold on. So normally if you was to go and you was to pull up neurology and study the brain, there is a scientific aspect and a scientific explanation on why there is someone that act impulsivity, someone that have behavior problems, someone that has aggression issues. You can look at their brain underneath what you would call a CAT scan, and you can see the parts of the brain that is black, that is dormant. And because that portion of the brain is not accessed or has been shut off due to chemicals, drugs, whatever it may be, through any type of chemical that they have put inside of their body that had cut that portion of their brain off, with that deals with reasoning and delayed gratification, those are the outcomes that take place. There is a scientific explanation for that. So, for example, even with me, when all the way up until I started understanding and learning science, I can look back on my life and look at the foods that I was eating and the things that I was ingesting that kept my brain from fully developing. Now, when you deal with language, when you deal with the everyday things that we do on a day-to-day basis, sitting up, walking, running, talking, going to school and learning this basic bull crap that we're learning, all of that is from your cerebellum. That is the smallest portion of your brain at the top of your spinal cord. That is called the cerebellum. In Latin is considered your miniature brain. So when you're in your miniature brain, you're more of a reactive person. You're more in a survival state of mind. You're more in a primitive state of mind. This is something that has been proven through neuroscience. Most people, brothers that I know that have been in jail, that have been going in and out of jail, the moment that they started listening to, whether it be Yaqui Awakening, whether it be listening to me, and they started eating healthy, and started doing things that strengthened their mind and their body, they no longer became a reactive, impulsive person. So now there is no such thing as blaming it on demonic spirits and entities on the planet. No, I'm taking full accountability for my actions, my thoughts, and my actions. I drove down the street today. Somebody cut me off and cussed me out. It's two things I could have did. I could have been responsive, but like, F you, we can do this, we can get blah, blah. Or I could have said, you know what? You got it, bro. Keep it moving.
Right. So I say this with respect.
Yes.
I feel as though there is a hypocrisy that you don't see or that you don't feel, right? Because in one aspect, you're telling me that there is no being outside of me that can tell me anything, but you are reading books and basing majority, if not all, of what your perspective is off of books that are not yours. You did not write these books. Go ahead.
Let me answer your question. See, this is where we go back this again. It don't make a difference. In every part of our existence, no matter where it's at, they have to follow universal law. So when we fell to where we fell at, to the English language, they have to give us our genetics. No matter what, they have to give us our genetics. No matter what way they give it to us in, they have to give it to us. So even before all these books was written, our genetics and how we was able to manifest on this planet was being passed down from mother to child and mother and father to child. So we understood that. When we started to fall and we had our tongues broken and our consciousness broken, they had to put it in these books. So they can't change the functionality of your brain. They can't change the functionality of your heart, your liver, your kidney. They cannot change that. See,
Right.
fear, people say fear holds you back. Yes, that is part of it. Cortisol holds you back, not just fear. Cortisol. And what is cortisol? Cortisol is a liquid that is produced by the pituitary gland and keeps you in flight, fight, or freeze. So once you understand that this cortisol that is being released through your body has you constantly nervous, have you shaky when you hear a firecracker, because for one, your calcium is low in your body because your bones are brittle, because you're not putting the right minerals inside of your body, which destabilizes your central nervous system. Now you're on edge. Now you're on. Most people that are arrested, most people that are in jail, most people that commit crimes, they have the most porous eating habits. The most porous eating habits on the planet. You're not going to see someone that eat holistic say all of a sudden, I'm going to go blow this nigga brains out. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see someone that eat holistic say, you know what, I want to have hedonistic sexual experiences. No, you're not. You're not going to have that. It's not that
I don't know if that's necessarily true, bro. Just because, I'm a vegan. I've been recently vegan for the last 3 or 4 years. However, spiritually, I understand that there are energetic beings that need to eat certain meats, right? It's not, everybody isn't supposed to only, now, because like you said, we've fallen. So now, because we've been fallen for so long, some beings do need to have meat. And as a vegan, I can say that, right? But
no, that's not true.
Well, we can agree to disagree on that.
Well, let me just say this to you. What does meat does to the body? That's all I'm asking you. What does meat do to your body?
There are certain aspects of the protein aspects that some people need. There's certain things that some entities and beings need. It just is. And eventually,
you don't get protein from meat.
Don't need it. Eventually, we will be back to our original state where we don't all need it, right? Because again, I have to iterate that I am a vegan. I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy. I don't eat any of that. I don't eat processed and refined sugars and things of that nature. So I'm giving you that vegan perspective to tell you that there are beings right now that do have, it's like a crackhead, that has to be weaned off of. You can't take every crackhead, can't just successfully go cold turkey. They have to be weaned off of it. And because we have fallen, some people do need it right now, and they have to be weaned off of it until, like all aspects of our ascension, until we all don't need certain things. So yes, right now, some beings do need it. They have to be weaned off of it, right? But to get back to a certain point that you said, there are, you're doing the science versus spirituality perspective and approach to this when it's the science and spirituality. You're talking about different aspects of the body and things of that nature. To go back to my original point of, science being a big major, my favorite subject in school, from high school to middle school to college as an aspiring nurse, right? So I get the science, but what I think that's being ignored is the fact that there's certain, I remember specifically, I was sitting in a physiology course specifically, and every fucking, excuse my language, every time that the professor's like, oh, and black people this and oh, black people that, and I was like, literally at a class of 32, I was the only black person, not woman, only black person in this nursing class. I was at a very great university, yada, 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 right? Mm-hmm. The pineal gland, they said, was useless, right? The gallbladder, they say, was useless. The tonsils, they told us, was useless. They didn't know what these things were for. And it was a lie. The books say they were just, these random organs that are just there. Those are all lies, right? We now know the pineal gland is such an intricate aspect of our spiritual being. We know now that gallbladder is something important for us to handle anger and different things of that nature. So what I'm trying to convey is that the science is just like the Bible, right? Some people, I was born Christian, or not born Christian, but I was raised Christian and all these different things before I realized what was truly for myself, right? But there's certain aspects of the Bible that are not true. They have to mix the truth with the lie, and it's up to us through our different inner work, shadow work, and self-realization that helps us to understand what is and what is not true. So I'm not saying that the science, you keep referring back to go to the book and go to the book. Okay, I get that. But how many times do we sit in classes? Right now, my daughter's my youngest, she's 15. I'm homeschooling her. Finally got her, it took me years to get understanding of that I needed to be homeschooling my children. My son, he's a senior in high school. I get it. He wanted to stay in school. I got that part, But my daughter, I've been homeschooling. This is her second year homeschooling, right? Because I knew and I understand now that everything in their books is not true. And when you only refer to everything and you keep wanting to reference back to just the book, when we have to understand and accept that everything in the book, just like the Bible and the Quran and all these other different spiritual and religious books, it's not all true. It's the truth mixed in with the lie, as you mentioned before.
Okay.
So the spirit, go ahead.
Let me answer this regarding this book again, because you're going to the book. Okay, so listen. Here's the deal. When you were in nursing school, they gave you the book that you needed to read. Once again, I told you when you put yourself in someone else's vision or you're moving for someone else, therefore you don't know where you're going to end up at. You're being led by someone else. So when I speak about books, I speak about reading reading from different geneticists, reading from different neurologists, reading from different chemists. So it wouldn't take me to reading one book and be like, oh, the pineal gland is no good or the pineal gland is not active. Okay, fine. If I read that book, that's not going to stop me and say, okay, or deter me from reading another book. And then I read another geneticist and they say, well, the pineal gland is the most important organ in the entire body because that gland connects you to the entirety of the solar system via the sun. So now that's just like me taking Dr. Fauci as the only epidemiologist when it comes to diseases and viruses. No, he's not the only epidemiologist. So that's something narrow that you're looking at. And if anybody that's in that narrow path, of course you're going to put yourself in a box. But learning.
You don't feel like, because what you're referring to is just going to another extension of the same foundational aspect, which is another book. Right. Well, you're just going to another author. You're just going to another book. You're not going outside. Okay, instead of looking at this book, let me go to this seminar and listen. Instead of this another book, let me go and sit out in the water and let the wind talk to me. Instead of going to another book, you're just going to other books and other authors, which is the same foundation, which is a book. Here's
the deal. Going to the books that's speaking about something that they cannot change. This is the point that I'm making. Not one anatomy book is a lie. Even when they told you in school that the pineal gland is nothing, they didn't lie to you.
Can I make a point on that?
Well, wait a second. Let me just answer let me respond to this real fast. Sure. When they told you that the pineal gland and you only need one liver, you only need one liver or the gallbladder, whatever the case may be. Yeah, of course. With other races of people, complex cell organisms. So they didn't lie. They did not lie when they told you that. They told you the truth.
Only I can say that just because I'm a forget, bro.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I remember distinctively being in nursing school, the books in college in general are fucking expensive as fuck. I remember specifically being in my anatomy class, Professor Messiah, I'll never forget. We had to get a new book because they changed one fucking page. It was a 12th edition or 14th, whatever it was, because they changed one page. Mm-hmm. The entire book was rewritten. So you're saying that, but that does not make sense because just because it is in the book and just because it's a new book doesn't mean that the majority of what's in that book is still the same from the last book, but they change one word, they're required. They change one page. They are required to update the book. That's why you have 10th and 12th and 14th editions of the same book.
Right, because you know why? Melanin constantly upgrades. And that's why every 3 to 5 years, your melanin is constantly upgrading. That's why. So everything in those books regarding anatomy is the truth. Everything in
And
those
you
books.
believe that that's the totality, though. You're saying that you believe that the ops, those who have oppressed us and those before us and are attempting to oppress those after us, you truly believe that they are putting everything that is completely true about us and our existence and all of the Egyptian and artifacts and all the things you believe that they're putting everything about our being, that they can even understand to an inkling of the totality of who we are. They can't, because they're not us. And the books that you're reading are not written by us.
Right. So let me answer that question. I believe that they are giving the best aspect regarding studying our anatomy. They're giving the best answer they possibly can, because here we go. If you go and look in those books, they will say, okay, complex cell organism has internal membranes and internal organelles. And then they'll go and say prokaryotic cells don't have internal organelles or membranes. So now I would do the work and say, well, what is the functionality of internal organelles and internal membranes? Oh,
what's the word?
Excuse me?
What's you saying that they're giving you that, right? So you're saying that there may be something you wanted to expound upon and learn, right? So outside of the book, when you say I want to learn more, what is it that you would do to learn more outside of what was given to you in any particular book?
Because that's in a book. You will research even more. It's an abundance of information. You will research even more. So, for example, I would not wait a second. Wait a second. Outside of the books, standing out in nature and standing next to a tree and just sitting out and taking a walk, it's like going to anybody that's in spirituality. This is why people are so confused and not know what direction to go in, and they so easily manipulated, because it's like going to the gym for the first time and you don't know how to work out, or you don't know what to work out, and you're just looking at other people and you're like, well, I don't even know where to start at. The book give you a foundation on the direction that you should be going in.
And I disagree with that, because the intuition gives us the foundation. The book is just a support system.
Because can I ask you a question then? How do you know? Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying, because, okay, I might not, quote unquote, know how to cook, right? I do, but let's say I don't know how to cook. I'm no Gordon Ramsay. But if you put some potatoes and some vegetables and something, I intuitively, right, am going to know what to do and how to do it. And even if I don't know and I start intuitively just doing some things, and I make a masterpiece. You can go into the gym and not know the particular. I've literally done that. I don't know what the hell I'm doing in the gym, but guess what? It doesn't matter, because once you start, then you teach yourself. You don't have to have a trainer. You don't have to look to see what someone else is doing. You intuitively listen to your heart, and your heart tells you what to do, because oftentimes we think our mind is what's guiding us, when truly it's our heart that's telling us what we need to do, because it's so outside of the bounds of which we believe we should be doing, because our thoughts are societally driven, relationshiply driven, experience based off experiences, when our hearts are telling us exactly what we need to do. Because what you're saying is that you believe that
your heart is telling you to do something off of experience, whether you did it yourself or you witnessed someone do it. So for example, I'll take a child right now and they're on an island, and then I show up and give them a potato and give them some greens and vegetables. They wouldn't know what to do with that, because they never seen anybody. They never seen anybody else do it. How
does anyone become the first to do something? How does anyone become the first to do something? Because you have to not know what you're doing to be the first to do it. You have no blueprint.
Right. You did have a blueprint, because you saw someone else through eyes, or you physically did it yourself, cut up a potato and learn how to make and put a meal together.
The latter part of what you just said. You You did it yourself
Based,
through, like you said, going out into nature, which is an entity of being a living thing. The trees and the grass, like we can agree, are alive. These are live beings that are guiding us, whether we sit in the grass with our feet to the ground, whether we touch a tree and ask it to take the negative energy or to show us and to give us guidance. We are getting something from an entity outside of ourselves. Nature, Gaia, Tiamat, she is an energy, an entity of her own. Therefore, there are other entities of high vibrational of their own that are also supporting us. When you say go out into the sun, the second and the first moon that are there, Luna is a very intricate part, although they try to use her against us, and we've now learned how to alchemize it over the many entities of which she's been in our atmosphere, right? These are outside of us. So it's not like, we're just being controlled and puppeteered. Just all the things that you acknowledge are also entities. The sun, Gaia, and all aspects of nature, those are also entities, just like the spiritual beings of archangels, angels, guardian angels, source itself, the universe, all of those things.
yeah, but I totally get all that. But I'm doing this off of my past experiences and what I have been through. Not what Mother Earth has been through. No.
You're limiting how beautiful and how royal you are.
No, that's not
beyond Kalada's experience. You're way more than Kalada's experience. Way more than that.
But I know that. I understand that. I completely understand that, and that's why I know that I've been around for eons of years, eons. But again, I am in control of my own destiny. No one else controls that. I take accountability for my own actions. When I go outside in nature, the honeybees are not saying, "Oh, I'm gonna work for Kalada today." The honeybees are saying, "I'm working for the honeybees." Hold on for 1 second, pause, sweetheart. Let me finish speaking. Let me finish speaking.
Which is why they don't sting high vibrational people. They are part of that. Just because you're not aware of that, and I say this with all love, I promise you, there's an egotistical aspect that is not allowing you to expand your soul, bro.
No, that's not necessary.
And I don't mean that negatively, because we all have to overcome our ego. But you're limited. The bees are a part of that. The wind is a part of your being. They know, they're living.
Hold on for 1 second. Once again, this is the mindset that I don't prescribe to, because I don't prescribe that I go outside and the bees are working just for me. No, the bees start. Let me finish speaking, love. The bees work for themselves, and in turn, they assist other life forms. But bees are not waking up every day saying, "Okay, I'm getting ready to do this for them." No, this is what in my genetics. And this is what I am going to do for me and my hive. Now, whoever reaps the benefits off of what I am doing, what we are doing for our hive, then they can reap the benefits of it. But we're getting the ultimate benefit. That's just like no one is getting the benefits of me working out. No one is getting the benefits of me sitting out in the sun and sun gazing.
I disagree that no one else is getting benefits from.
You're not allowing me to finish.
Because someone else, I get it. I know. I'm so sorry. But I'm going to forget. And that's the only, if I ever interject, it's only because I'm going to forget. So I truly apologize. But what I'm saying is that because, say for instance, you've gone somewhere sometime, maybe in your youth, maybe even in your adult years, and you've seen somebody say, somebody's on the court and you see them working hard and they making the threes or whatever, jump throws or whatever the fuck people be doing on the basketball court. Forgive me, bro. You see them and even though they're doing it for themselves, there's something within their work for themselves that you observe without them even knowing you observing them is motivating you and encouraging you. So even though they may quote unquote be doing it just for them, there is something that because they decided to get up to do it and go at that particular time, that source knew that you were going to be there at that particular time, that encourages and enables and motivates you to do it. So it's like I have to say, it's a limiting of source and how source and everything is divinely orchestrated. It is not just us from the breeze that you needed because you were so hot and now the wind is blowing to cool you off, from the bees that are coming around or the beautiful butterfly that you needed to see to uplift you because you just had a hard day, and how beautiful was that bee or that butterfly that gave you a smile in your heart that you didn't know you needed. Just because we don't understand the workings of all these different entities, Source, which is the divine orchestrator of all things that works divinely, whether it's you getting that job, whether it's you not going down that road because you're going to get into that accident, whether it's you ignoring that DM because that girl was toxic. Everything is divinely orchestrated. We don't have to, as individuals, understand, know, or even accept that that's what's happening. But Source, divine universe, is intricately working everything out on our behalf. Even the bees that are making the honey, that are going to the flower and pollinating it. Everything is divinely orchestrated. There is, again, I have to iterate, a limitation that it feels as though you are not allowing Source to infiltrate into your life. It's not just you. You are not the only aspect of your being that is causing you to evolve and to grow, and for your soul's evolution to come into fruition.
Well, I mean, it's obvious that, that nature cleans the planet, and, bees pollinate food. So therefore I can get some fruits and vegetables. I know that we all work intertwined with one another. I know that already, but I control my own destiny. I control my own destiny. And this is something that you are not accepting, because see, Source wants you to control your own destiny. Source wants you to think and move for yourself. Because if you look at Black people, if you look at our people right now, most of our people, a high percentage of them, don't do what? Think for themselves. They're allowing someone else to think for them.
You don't think the book that you're reading is someone else taking their research, their perspective, their time to implement in their words onto that book, onto that paper, what they want you to know?
Okay, let me say this to you. Once again, you cannot change an atom. An atom is what an atom is. A brain.
You change the words in the book describing what the atom is, because they could have told you an atom was a snowflake.
Right, and it's still the functionality of that snowflake still conducts itself like an atom. So yes, it don't make a difference.
How would you have known there was a difference if it wasn't in the book, though?
What you mean? Excuse me?
How would you have known if you saw an atom under a microscope,
right,
and you saw a snowflake, and you had no understanding or prior knowledge of what either of those things were?
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
You're only deciding that you know what it is based off of the book that they told you what one of
wait
the
a
other
minute.
is.
Hold on for 1 second. See, now this is where you go wrong at. You wouldn't know. You could put a table in a foreign country that nobody never seen a table of. They wouldn't know what it was. If you took a table and put it on another room, they'd be like, "What is that?" You be saying that's a chair. Let me finish speaking, love. Let me finish speaking. Of course, I wouldn't know what it is. Just like I wouldn't know what it. Of course, let me get this out. Of course, I wouldn't know what it is. But by having an understanding of how atoms work, no matter what they call it, an understanding of how atoms work, give you a better sense.
Derive from though?
Excuse me?
Where does the understanding derive from? Where's the foundational part of where that understanding comes from?
The people that hold on. The people that study our planet, study the particles that come from the sun, and the people that dissected us. That's where that came from.
To your point, that is outside of you, bro.
No, how is that outside of me? If you're dissecting,
I'm not saying you're incorrect. You are right.
Hold on for 1 second. Wait a second. How is that outside of me when I'm talking about what is my makeup? My makeup starts from the internal. That's not outside of me. I am reading something that is talking about my internal makeup.
You didn't write the book.
I'm not, because I didn't dissect myself. And I
outside of you.
That's not, you're missing. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on for 1 second.
Outside of you for shadow work, bro.
Wait a second.
I'm making your point. Your point. I agree with you. It's outside of you. The people, like you said, the people, right? The people who did all of those things. That's what you just said.
But
right?
Once again, they did. You're missing the point, love. You're totally missing the point.
Your own point.
No, no. I'm not missing my own point. You are. You once again. The book
Well,
was
that's what
written.
people
Excuse me. The
say.
book was written. The book was written
You're
from
right.
the dissecting of me internally. The book wasn't
Were you
written.
there when they did
The
that?
book
Were
wasn't.
you there when they dissected it?
Now,
You weren't.
see, now
You're
we. All right,
trusting,
listen.
trusting the word of someone else's work.
Okay, now this is where
I know. I feel it.
this
I
is where
feel
all
it.
reasoning
I feel
goes
it.
out the window.
I
Now
feel
this
it.
is where
I feel it. It's okay. I feel as though I feel as though my mission has been completed in this call. I feel as though, implanted into your subconscious and those listeners who which needed to hear what needed to come from the divine has happened.
Divine don't cut people off.
Your energy. I appreciate you so very dearly.
All right.
I do trust
All right, you
the
have an
source of
amazing
energy
rest of
and
your.
I do direct this conversation.
All right, you have an amazing rest of your night, love.
You as well, my love.
All right.
I love you, dear.
Yeah, the book is written from the dissecting of so-called black people. So she said, how would you understand what is an atom? I don't care what they call it. They can call it a blanket. They can call it a pillow. They can call it whatever they decide to want to call it, but they can't change the functionality of atoms, which is the smallest building block of all matter. So now is matter accurate? No matter what they call it, everything on this planet is based off of what? Physical reality is what? Matter. Hold on, let me see what this is. Peace, appreciation, and value. Live with Kala. State your name, city, and state where you calling from.
Yo, it's High in Cincinnati, Ohio. What's up with you, Kala?
What's the deal? How you doing, bro?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of listening to when I caught the little last game of that, man. I felt where she was coming from, and I felt like she was kind of like, I don't know, too far in the spiritual and not living in the balance of, saying we in this physical and of, saying got to be on both ends. So it's like, I don't know. But really want to call and say appreciate you, man. Probably like 2 years ago, found your videos, going through a dark time, and then, like, just start learning about myself, genetics, and like really like taking the time out to just like stop, think, and just be like in the present.
Right.
And that's it. Like, it really, it really hit me through some dark times, man. Like, just learning about just the stuff that they ain't showing us and teaching us. Like, man, I'm kind of flustered, man. It's like a lot on my mind, but definitely want to say, Colin, appreciate you, man. Like, I ain't have people like, talking no type good stuff like this in my life as far as like learning about myself. It was always some external stuff. I need to do this. I need to go to school. You need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Yeah, bro, listen, trust me when I tell you, man.
I feel your energy. Everything they try to get us with is the external. Like, even when I brought about this shadow work, like, for example, when she spoke about, certain things regarding like the anatomy is in the book, well, show me shadow work that explain the behavior and characteristics of the complex cell organism on the planet. Show me shadow work that explain that. Nothing explains that. Anatomy do. Anatomy tells me that they're spliced with a violent and a dangerous animal. So now I understand their behavior and characteristics a lot more, because the animal that they share 98% of their DNA with is a violent animal. That animal is violent, is a rapist, if sex with any type of animal or try to have sex with any type of animal on the planet. So right. So that was my whole thing. And that was my whole thing in regarding dealing with anatomy in the books. Why wouldn't someone want to learn how the functionality of their body? That way you can master alchemy even more, even better. Like, even the part when she said that some people should eat meat. What? That doesn't even make sense to me. There is nothing in there. There is no protein in meat. The protein is inside the blood. That's why animals, when they kill they kill the animal, you'll see them licking the blood off each other's face. in
Right.
licking up the blood, because the protein is in the blood, not in the meat. So I hear what she was saying, and I understand how she tried to defend the shadow work thing. But even with you coming on the phone right now, the one thing that you said was, brother, I found myself, and everything that somebody else was trying to point me to was outside of myself. And what does anatomy do? Point you into internally to yourself. See, when I go out in nature now, I have a better understanding and a better connection with nature than I did yesterday, because now
Right.
I understand the particles, the atoms that nature is made up of and that I naturally produce. Just like water. Water is full of electrons, which is feminine energy, which is powerful. Now that I understand, when I take a shower or when I'm sitting by water, why do I feel relaxed? Why do all of us feel relaxed, feel comfortable, feel at peace when we're near a beach or swimming in a pool? Why do we feel so relaxed? Why we get so relaxed when we sitting in a nice hot tub and we're soaking? You see, these are the things that you don't know. You have a better understanding of when you are dealing, or you have an understanding of anatomy. Regardless of who wrote the book, they can't change the functionality of what they are speaking about.
Real talk. I'm gonna say, yeah, that really got me appreciating like just life period. Like even like when I go outside, I got a daughter, take her outside, get her outside in the sun, because I know what it's doing for her on a molecular level as far as,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, healing what, because, you know what I'm saying, before I came into this knowledge, she got her, you know what I'm saying, vaccinations and stuff, as far as, you know what I'm saying, she ain't old enough to really, I want to detox her and stuff, but she ain't at that age yet, so it's like I got to get her out in the sun, making sure she eating a lot more fruits, vegetables, you know what I'm saying, so it's like having that knowledge made me stronger and more disciplined within myself to start like, nah, I'm about to change the whole script. Like my mom died from thyroid cancer because she ain't want to stop eating whatever she would eat. You know what I'm saying? She grew up old school, pork chops, chicken. You know what I'm saying? Fried. You know what I'm saying? So she is like sat there and told me in my face like she had a chance to change, but she was just like, look, I'm gonna keep eating what I'm gonna eat. I literally watched my mom eat herself to death. You feel me? So it's like, knowing this stuff now, it's like it had on like another layer. Like I feel like everybody got their own path. Maybe the genetics, like maybe people ain't meant to start off with this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People won't do the shadow work. Let them do that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it ain't your time to ascend this time or something. But like for other people, this stuff hit different. Like this ain't just like the religion. Like I was into religion for a little bit, but it ain't feel right. Like I never felt comfortable in the church. I never felt comfortable like being religious like that, because it just ain't like, I don't know. Well, now I know, but like it didn't feel right back then, definitely. But now I know like my purpose ain't one to like be in the world or be a rapper or be, you know what I'm saying, what people doing around me. Like I never, like, I don't know. That's why I got a real deep appreciation for you and a couple other people, because it's like this is like a door. Like the door was closed and like I gave you the key and I opened it up, and now it's like I'm running. Like it's like ain't nothing like stopping me, no fear, no nothing. So it's just like deep and great appreciation for you, man. Like I know we reflections, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, living in this physical world so long and believing what I'm believing, I know you know what I'm saying, I really appreciate you, bro.
Oh man, I appreciate you more, man. Thank you for sharing that touching story, man. Your life journey, man. I greatly appreciate that, man. Thank you for calling in.
For sure.
Abundance, my brother. Have an amazing
Peace.
Yeah, I couldn't understand it. You know what I mean? I'm listening, and she's saying that I'm limiting myself, and I'm like, wait a minute, how am I limiting myself when I am all that is natural, and all that is natural is me? It's just that I'm the highest supreme, and I'm not going to allow any entity to come in and take credit for my dysfunctional life or my ascension. I'm not allowing that to take place, because I might as well stay with religion if that's the case. I might will completely stay with religion. You know what I mean? And give credit to Satan, give credit to God, give credit to Jesus, Yahshua, Muhammad. I might well do all of that. There's no need for me to go from that to spirituality because I'm giving someone else credit for my growth and development. Yes, I am totally am. I'm giving someone else credit for my growth and development or my dissension, whichever one you want to call it. So nah, I don't believe, I don't trust that, nor do I believe. Let me see here. Peace, appreciation, and value. La with Kala.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Peace.
My name's Andrew. I just wanted to come up and give a few points, especially about like what the lady talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I felt as though she had a good point, but she's missing a very understanding. I do agree with the point that we are all connected. But I think what we really have to understand is, especially with Black people, is the number one thing is we're not aware. I believe awareness is what's keeping us, down because we're still in a war that we think we're not in, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to come to peace with everybody else instead of coming to peace with our own people. And I believe this is our main thing that we have to do. I definitely understand all your viewpoints on the sun.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, I don't believe I believe the sun is giving us power, but I believe that it's mainly up to us. And the reason why it's up to us because we have the sun every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day the sun shines on us, it gives us light, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're missing is we have to separate ourselves from the environments that we're in. The environments that we're in are, like you said, it's literally like shutting us down, especially with the people we're around. The things we eat, everything.
Right.
Another thing is, I believe in what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that as Black people, we must become our own scientists. We must become our own surgeons. We must become all of these things. And where she went wrong was, we're able to find these things out. It's not just a book, it's experiments. We have to actually go in. We have to actually do these experiments.
Your phone is breaking up because your phone is breaking up because I want people to hear what you're saying and you're talking kind of low. So can you speak a little louder in your phone too?
Yeah, I got the. Can you hear me more?
I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's all about experiments. We have to become our own scientists. We have to become our own, biologists. We have to become everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we have to understand is we're in a world where the people who are at war against us are controlling everything. So right now, everything is just so fucked up and so messed up in their hands that we're just believing everything they put out, even if it's from our own people. So we're at war with our own people. So now we have a world where if people with common sense and intelligence and consciousness, awareness, going against people who are just living.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of crazy, and I think that we really need to separate ourselves, and we need to come to a conclusion. It's going to be very hard, but I believe that if it works, we separate ourselves, and we need to come to a conclusion that we need to learn ourselves again and learn our true religion as people, as human beings, and then we can go over and talk about, okay, let's actually get a planetary species,
Right.
with other people.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. I agree with you with that. We need to learn ourselves. And the one thing of learning ourselves is at least getting a foundation when it comes down to our anatomy. If you don't know how your body is functioning, you understand what I'm saying to you? Now it's easy for you to eat meat. It's easy for you to get tricked to eat fish. It's easy for you to get tricked to eat artificial sugars and get hooked on processed food. See, if you understood anatomy and understood what that was really doing to your body, then you wouldn't eat it. But or you would have you would make a high conscious choice. Say, okay, I'm going to eat this, but it's my choice that I'm eating it. I'm not eating it based off someone else's choice. I'm eating it based off the decision that I want to make and eat this. That's it.
And I don't mean to I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Right.
That's a perfect point because, you know, when I was young, I remember, you know, the stereotypes they used to use on watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It was actually funny to me. You know, and this is why I know it's a war. And, you know, the opposition, the people that were our enemy, they know. They actually know it's a war, and they actually know the things that, you know, even some of the people that we call higher ups, regular civilians. Some of these regular civilians, people, geologists, the people that travel the world, they know these things. And actually, basically, you know, they always make a stereotype about watermelon, but once you look at watermelon, it's one of the most, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your phone, bro. Like, it goes all the way out, man. And I really want to hear what you're saying, but your phone, you got a bad connection with your phone, bro. You have a real bad connection.
My bad,
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It goes very low, and it's to the point. Like, it's one thing if I can hear you, and I try to so that everybody else can hear you that's in the chat, but your phone is bad. You got a bad connection, bro. So I would say,
all right, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's all love, bro. Like, it's just a bad connection, man. I will hope that you will call back in when the next time I do the live, because I definitely want to hear what you got to say.
Definitely, man. Have a good one, man. Peace.
All right, you too, my brother. Peace, abundance. I'm gonna get off of this live soon, my people. I'll probably take one more call. It's a call from California that kept calling in, so I'm gonna wait for that California call to see if it come back in. But again, I don't know how shadow work is going to. I don't know how shadow work is going to prevent. I don't know how shadow work is going to let you know who's who on the planet. How we identify all species on this planet is through genetics. That's how we identify all species. Bear with me for 1 second, people. Oh. All right, my bad, people. Is this it now? All right, so I don't know who it is that's calling that 267 number, 888 number. I'm gonna block you the next time you call that phone number. I'm on the phone. I'm on live. I can't answer that phone number. So if you call again and I look at that number, I'm going to block you. You have to call a 215 number. That don't make any sense. So anyway, how we identify everything on this planet is through its genetics. So when you identify something through its genetics, so let's take snakes for example. You have your cobra snakes, you have your black mama, you have poisonous snakes, and you have what you call snakes that are not poisonous, right? So if you didn't know the genetic makeup of certain snakes, you would think all of them are poisonous, or you would think all of them are not poisonous. But how do you know? How do you understand what is poison and what is not a poison? Through its genetics. And this is how you know how to deal with certain situations. Peace, appreciation, and value. You live with Kala. I'm going to end it after this call right here. What's on your mind, brother?
Hey, how's it going, man? Yeah, so I've been watching your videos for a long time now, and I'm aware of how if you have a lot of radiation and toxic food inside of your system, you're subject to getting spontaneously combusted. And I'm melanated and everything, but I just wondered. So when I was playing football as a young kid, I broke my femur, and I got a titanium plate in my leg. And do you think that around the time the solar flares happen, do you think that would affect me having the metal in my leg? Because I'm making a change to go fully vegan. It's kind of hard because I'm a trucker on the road. But yeah, no, I just feel like I just want to know what your thoughts are on having a titanium plate, or any melanated people that might have metal in their body from sports injuries or just injuries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got metal in my body too. I got 2 bullets inside of me. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel different you know, this year, you know, my back felt a little different, like it aggravated me more. But I mean, I don't want to contribute that to the solar flares, but I will say that, you know, and my back did bother me a little bit more this year. I don't see how. I mean, from just I could be wrong, but I don't see how it would really bother you for the most part, though, brother. So
Okay, because like I know like it's gonna like I don't know what's gonna happen to our bodies like because like I know we're gonna get lighter, but if I have this like just piece of titanium attached to me, I just don't know how like that would like synthesize, and that's always like I've just been thinking about that since like 2020.
yeah,
So I'm glad I finally talked to you, but like yeah.
yeah, no doubt, my brother. One thing the one thing I would say that the one that is dormant in our body is what you call totipotent stem cells. And these stem cells are undifferentiated stem cells. They can become any cells in your body, which in turn start to form organs, uh, um, cells, or whatever the case may be. And so I would say if you have a plate in your leg and our bodies are changing and those cells come back online, I can see maybe your body actually rejuvenating itself and pushing that part out of your body. That's what I'm thinking that would take place because our bodies are completely, totally different.
Yeah.
Especially,
Okay.
all
Yeah. No,
right.
I'm at a truck stop right now in Idaho, and I'm looking at the moon right now. And it's a full moon, and looks red, honestly. So.
Yeah, everybody's paying attention to that sky now. Everybody.
Yeah, bro, I grew up in Oregon, but I lived in I've been living in Arizona for the past 2 years. Bro, it's like either it's purple or it's like white like a quartz, like you said, and I'm just like, wow, if I'm feeling that, then I know y'all are having a rough time.
Exactly, my brother. Exactly. But
Like,
they doing a hell of a job of trying to mask it up, but they won't be able to do it much longer.
right. You know, I know a lot of the spiritual community feels some type of way about dogs, and I watch a lot of RFG. I know he feels some type of way about dogs. I've always had like German shepherds and dogs. You know, like I just love animals, and even like my puppy, like when I'm running him, it's just like in that Rottweiler video, he kind of tries to avoid the sun a little bit, and it's freaking me the fuck out. But you know, like I know what time it is, so it's just kind of got to accept it.
Yeah, I understand, brother. It's all love, brother. I don't. I used to own dogs, so I know the love and the value that we would have for life. Period. It's not just dog for life. Period. You know what I mean? Whether I believe if you had a fish tank, you would take care of your fish. So it's just
Yeah.
like it's just the love that we have for life. So I don't want you to ever think that, you know what I mean, like you're wrong for that. No, I don't do that. You know what I mean? That's what you have in your life. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's wrong when you mistreat a life. It doesn't make a difference if it's organic or inorganic. You know what I mean? It's wrong when you
Yeah.
mistreat life. That's how I look at it.
Mhm.
All right.
You know, I kind of feel bad about like trucking and stuff, but like I don't want to say I'm giving up on humanity, but like it's just I don't know, man. Like when I'm in my truck, I just feel peace and I can just watch some high vibrational videos. But when I'm out, like just in the matrix or just out, I just kind of like just man, like
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can know that feeling, and that's the one thing you can tell how you coming into your own consciousness because you start to want to be isolated because there's nobody
yeah,
around you that's really vibrating on a high frequency. You don't have to. It's just the thinking process of people. That's what makes it so bad. The way they process
yeah,
information and how they see life. You be like, nah, I just can't. Nah, I'm cool, man. I just can't be with this all day
yeah.
long.
They tune out and like get like crash out. You try to tell them something.
Exactly, man.
Yeah,
Man,
you're
I
looking at them like, oh my god, you're actually serious right now. Like, god damn. And then it's just like, damn, it just got you thinking. It's like, wow.
Man, I appreciate the call, my brother. I'm gonna end this live with this last call right here, man. Thank you for calling in and thank you for sharing your experience, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks for answering my question, even though it didn't relate to what you were talking about. But yeah, man, all love. I'm hit you up again, man.
No doubt, my brother. Have an amazing night. Be careful out there on that road.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, man. Appreciate you.
No doubt. Peace, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's my last call, my people. I thank y'all all for sharing this live with me. I appreciate all the callers that called in. More importantly, I appreciate the sister that called in that gave a very healthy defense regarding the shadow work. But, you know, looking at science and understanding that we identify everything on this planet through genetics. You wouldn't know it's a chair unless it's a chair made a certain way through genetics. The chair and the table is made a certain way. It's genetics. So everything starts with your genetics. So where would I go at to say, okay, if everything starts with genetics and my heart, I have a heart, a liver, a brain, where can I learn about these things at? I'm not going to go sit by the water and you're going to hear a voice in your ear that say you have a frontal lobe, a prefrontal lobe, your visual cortex, you have a cerebellum, you have a hippocampus. You're not going to hear no voice in your head tell you no shit like that. You actually have to read and learn about it. And when you read and learn about it, it starts to unlock different parts of your brain. I got you, bro. It starts to unlock different parts of your brain. So when you unlock different parts of your brain, memory starts to come back to you, and you say, okay, cool. Now I remember this. Now I remember this aspect of my life, learning science and learning who I am. Now I can easily master my reality. See, I know that everything is made up of atoms, and how I speak to trees, how I speak to nature is gonna determine how they function for me. You see what I'm saying? How they going to function on the planet? How they take in how trees take in my carbon dioxide and convert it into oxygen? How different parts of nature is going to work for me? Okay, different parts of nature will work for me. This is all I'm saying. Once you have to have a foundation on where you need to go at. If your foundation is lost, like I said, going to the gym, I'm going to do legs today. Well, what leg exercise should I start with? Or what exercise should I start with? You know what I mean? You don't know this. And what happens is it'll frustrate you. And what happens is you'll be frustrated, or you'll start seeking someone else to teach you and guide you through this. And what happens is you become dependent on them. Just like I got a gym partner now. Now I'm going to go to the gym. And then you go hold your gym partner. You be like, yo, you going to the gym today? Your gym partner be like, nah, I ain't making it to the gym today. And now you're not going to the gym. No, that's not how it should work, people. So I appreciate you all. I thank that sister. I thank all the brothers that called in. I am going to definitely do a live. I'm going to do a live call-in I'm going to do a live call-in on my on my computer, on my desktop, so that way we can really, vibe with this, my people. But I got to get out of here. Until next time, woman, child, and man, cosmos and earth, eternal light, each one reach one. This is how we grow. I see you, my brothers and sisters. And hold up, I got to say one more last thing before I get out of here. What the fuck did I tell you? Everybody's going to be talking about the sun and genetics. The sun and genetics. The sun and genetics. They have no other choice but to talk about it, because that was what was broken from us. Think about over the last 6,000 years, right? Even though some of us can't go back to 6,000 years, but think about the last 200 years. All they've been talking about is slavery, abuse, slavery, abuse, God, slavery. That's it. Nothing about genetics and your divine connection to the sun. Now everybody's going to be talking about it. I appreciate you all. Have an amazing, supreme rest of your night. Kalama'at Amin Ra, God gene for life. Remember, protect yourself at all times with sunlight, chlorophyll, distilled water, and 3D human free. I'm out of here. Have an amazing one.